is going to be the one that, in my opinion, is most likely to help you get an entry-level job even if you don't have a college degree. Now, I'm not saying by any means that these certifications are a replacement for a college degree. That would be like comparing apples to oranges. It just wouldn't make any sense at all. For one, a college degree typically takes 4 to 5 years, whereas these certifications claim that they take 6 months, but in reality, they usually take just a few. A better comparison would be 4 years worth of certifications versus a college degree, but even in that case, it would still be an apples to oranges comparison. But with that being said, these certifications are getting more and more popular. They're teaching people skills, they're helping people stay up to date, and companies really like to see people who take initiative and learn on their own. So the Google IT Support Professional Certificate is one that I have seen lots and lots of reviews on, and almost all of them are positive. So whether you don't have experience in IT and you're just trying to get into it, or maybe you're just trying to see if you're interested in IT in the first place, or you do have a degree but you want to make your resume look even better, or you're currently working in IT and you want to show your employer that you are actively learning and keeping up to date on your skills. These types of certifications can help you with all of those different situations. So definitely check them out down in the description below. They get a thumbs up from me, and I link them down there for you. Check out my other videos right here. I made them just for you. Go ahead, gently tap that like button, hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and comment down below.
Let me see what else he got. I'm gonna subscribe.
Okay, this is the Automatic Course Creator, and if you are looking for the fastest and most affordable way to launch your first or next course, high ticket offer, or online business, you do not want to miss this video. Why?
Imagine waking up in 2025, grabbing your favorite mug of coffee and logging into a job that didn't even exist a few years ago. Sounds pretty sweet, right? Well, we're about to take a wild ride into the future of remote work. And we're going to be talking about data, trends, and a crystal ball.
Wait, what? What are you talking about?
Okay, maybe not the crystal ball, but seriously, the remote work landscape is changing faster than you can say you're on mute. And by 2025, we're not just going to be talking about coding in your pajamas, we're going to be entering a whole new world of opportunities. So whether you're a seasoned remote warrior or you're just dipping your toes in the virtual water, this video is going to be your ticket to the hottest remote industries of the near future. So are you ready to future-proof your career? Then let's dive in. And by the way, if you need help landing some of the jobs in these industries, you're gonna need a really good resume. And instead of buying a super expensive resume template that doesn't even work, go ahead and download my proven free resume template that works like 3 times better than the expensive templates out there, because it's guaranteed to pass the ATS systems. And you can check that out by clicking down in the description and the pinned comment below. Now let's explore those future job industries. All right, so first we've got AI and machine learning specialists. Picture this, it's 2025 and AI is everywhere. Not in a creepy Skynet way, but in a making our lives easier kind of way. And companies are scrambling for experts who can teach machines how to think. And what do you know? You can actually do this from your couch. Now, I know what you're thinking.
But Shane, I can barely teach my dog to sit.
Don't worry, we're not talking about creating sentient robots here. It's more about using data to make smart decisions. Think of it like teaching a really smart parrot to recognize patterns. Except this parrot can predict stock markets or diagnose diseases. And the best part? Many of these jobs don't require a PhD in rocket science, nanobot technology, or anything crazy like that. And online courses and boot camps that teach this stuff are popping up faster than you can say machine learning. So here's a remote machine learning specialist who debunks the myth that all AI work requires in-office setups. And while some believe powerful GPUs tie ML jobs to physical offices, Okjo works comfortably from his home. And their secret? A combination of cloud services like GCP, Azure, or AWS for heavy lifting, plus a personal desktop with a robust GPU for when they want to keep things local. And this flexible setup allows Okjo to tackle complex ML tasks without sacrificing the perks of remote work, proving that in 2025, AI wizards can conjure their magic from just about anywhere. So if you've got a knack for numbers and a passion for problem solving, this could be your golden ticket to the remote work wonderland. And remember folks, in the future, AI won't replace jobs, it'll create them, and you could be riding that wave all the way to the bank. This has happened every single time there's been a major technological advancement. Everyone freaks out, they think that all the jobs are going to be gone.
Oh my God, okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
And yes, some of the jobs do disappear, but they're usually replaced by 2 different types of jobs. So there's actually more jobs at the end of the day. Speaking of waves, if you're enjoying this glimpse into the future, why not ride the wave of the like button? It helps more people discover this content. Plus, it trains the YouTube algorithm, or AI, to recommend more awesome content like this to you. See, you're already working with AI. Next is going to be cybersecurity experts. And these are the unsung heroes of the digital world. And in 2025, these folks are like the Navy SEALs of the internet. Except instead of jumping out of planes, they're jumping into lines of code. And with more of our lives online than ever before, cyber attacks are becoming as common as cat videos. And here's the kicker. You can fight these digital bad guys from anywhere. That's right, you could be saving the world in your underwear while you're lying in bed if you want to. Not that I'm speaking from experience or anything. Now, I know what you're thinking.
But Shane, I barely remember my own passwords.
Don't sweat it. There are tons of online courses and certifications to get you started. Plus, the demand is so high, many companies are willing to train the right candidates. For instance, here's Sandra, a remote security analyst juggling a 4-month road trip with full-time work. Currently in Seattle, she balances project-based tasks and ticketing duties. And her day starts with a hotel breakfast, followed by 2 to 3 meetings, and then she leads long-term projects, handles ad hoc security issues, and stays current on tech trends like AI. Midweek is busiest, with Mondays for catch-up and Fridays for planning, and despite the hectic schedule, she prioritizes mental health and exploration. And this analyst proves that with careful planning, you can blend work, travel, and personal growth. Right. So if you've got a knack for solving puzzles and a desire to be a digital superhero, cybersecurity might just be your calling. And trust me, in 2025, these jobs will be hotter than my laptop after a 12-hour gaming session. And by the way, just want to say this really quick, there's a lot of different cybersecurity related careers out there. I'm just talking about cybersecurity in general, and same goes for all of the other careers on this list. Next is going to be virtual reality designers. And buckle up, folks, because we're about to enter the matrix. Well, not quite, but close enough. In 2025, virtual reality isn't just for gamers anymore. It's revolutionizing everything from education to healthcare. And imagine designing virtual classrooms where kids can explore ancient Rome, or creating immersive therapy sessions for people with phobias. And the best part, you can do it all from your home office, or your backyard, or a beach in Bali. You get the idea. Now, I know what you're thinking.
But Shane, I can barely draw a stick figure.
Don't worry, VR design isn't just about art. It's about creating experiences, solving problems, and thinking in 3D. Plus, with tools becoming more user-friendly, the barrier to entry is lower than ever. So just as an example, meet this VR developer with 4 years of experience. He shares that VR development often mirrors traditional game design, but offers more opportunities for newcomers to make big impacts. And there's generally less crunch time and a focus on creating optimized, high-quality mobile VR experiences. So if you've got a wild imagination and a passion for technology, VR design could be your ticket to a mind-bending career. Just remember, in the virtual world, there are no limits, except maybe the size of your hard drive. Speaking of imagination, I'd love to hear yours. Drop a comment below about what careers you think are going to be the biggest in the next 10 years. Maybe some of these careers already exist and you think they're going to grow, and maybe some of them don't even exist yet. But I definitely want to hear all about it, so comment down below. Next is going to be remote.
This is Amazon's new money
Oh man, y'all, I'm
Let me show
sorry,
you
I
how
just
it
started.
works. That app is called Audible.
Remote healthcare professionals, and this is huge because it's coming from someone who has worked in healthcare. Because in 2025 and beyond, the doctor will see you now might mean firing up your laptop or your iPad. That's right, we're talking about healthcare professionals working from home. And this is a growing trend that I've seen over and over again. There's all kinds of random little healthcare related careers out there, and many of them are starting to be done remote. Now, I'm not saying you'll be performing surgery over Zoom, although with the way technology is advancing, who knows? What I'm talking about is telemedicine, remote patient monitoring, and health coaching, all from the comfort of your own home office.
But Shane, I faint at the sight of blood.
No worries, I worked in healthcare and I don't like that either. There are tons of non-clinical roles in healthcare. Think health IT, medical coding, even developing health apps. And even a lot of the clinical ones, you don't see that much bad stuff. And the best part, you're literally saving lives while working in your pajamas. And with an ongoing aging population and increasing healthcare needs, this field is set to explode faster than my blood pressure after a triple espresso. Now, here's a fact. Remote healthcare is transforming medicine globally, empowering doctors to reach patients like never before. From reducing travel time to expanding access to care, telemedicine is breaking down barriers, with forward-thinking countries seeing up to 41% of consultations happening virtually, proving that the future of healthcare is just a click away. So if you've got a passion for helping people and a steady internet connection, remote healthcare might just be your calling. And remember, in 2025, the house call is making a comeback. It's just going to be happening over video chat. Next is going to be sustainability consultants. That's right, we're going to be getting green for the next few minutes, and I'm not talking about money, although there is going to be a lot of money in this industry. In 2025, sustainability isn't just a buzzword, it's a big business. That's right, you can save the planet from the comfort of your living room. And sustainability consultants are like the superheroes of the corporate world, except instead of capes, they wear, well, whatever they want because they work remote. And these eco warriors help companies reduce their carbon footprint, implement green technologies, and navigate environment.
Hey, what's hap? What's hap? Welcome to another episode of Expansion Pack. I am your host, Dan F. Man. It's good to be up in here with you today. on this, excuse me, I'm sorry, beautiful, healthy, mental Thursday. Let me get right. I want to, hold on. I was putting some music in here, but I got another one that I like that I'm going to put in there right now to be my background music as we get started. So, on today's episode, we are opening awareness. We're going to get some good, healthy, mental videos in here, but that's what we're doing today. Opening. I was watching one yesterday that I wanted to keep watching, but we're gonna skip through wisdom quotes. Let's go.
How much money do you spend per month living in New York City, including everything?
8K the last 2 months.
And what's your occupation? What do you do?
If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. Silence is the best answer to someone who doesn't value your words.
Yes, sir.
Words are like keys. If you choose them right, they can open any heart and shut any mouth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When you build in silence, people don't know what to attack.
Yes, sir.
Be selfish with your time. A lot of people don't deserve it. If you only walk on sunny days, you'll never reach your destination.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fear is temporary. Regret is forever.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Turn your wounds into wisdom. People inspire you, or they drain you. Pick them wisely. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Your future needs you. Your past doesn't.
Yes, sir.
One day, the people that don't even believe in you will tell everyone how they met you.
Yes, sir.
Do it alone. Do it broke. Do it tired. Do it scared. Just do it.
Yes, sir.
Allow yourself to be a beginner. No one starts off being excellent.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The quieter you become, the more you can hear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Worrying about losing is losing before you begin.
Yes, sir.
Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all hear that again.
Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Don't get burned twice by the same flame. You only fail when you stop trying. Your struggle is part of your story. As long as you are alive, no obstacle is permanent.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Excuses make today easier, but tomorrow harder. Discipline makes today hard, but tomorrow easier.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes being alone is the best medicine to your soul.
Yes, sir.
Be teachable. You're not always right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Don't give up. You are closer than you think. Sacrifice a few years of comfort for decades of freedom.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm on the path. That's my man's. Let go.
We fall, we break, we fail. But then we rise, we heal, we overcome.
Yes, sir.
Without rain, nothing grows. Learn to embrace the storm of your
Yes,
life.
sir. Yes, sir. Hey, that my man's. He set it on fire right there. He set it on fire. Listen, do you understand what I'm saying to you? The fire has been set. Listen to it right here.
We fail, but then we rise, we heal, we overcome.
Listen here right here. Listen.
Without rain, nothing grows. Learn to embrace the storm of your life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Don't let yesterday take up too much of today. The meaning of life is to give life meaning. Have patience. All things are difficult before they become easy.
Yes, sir.
Stop waiting for the right time. Time isn't waiting for you.
Yes, sir. That's my guy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you get tired, learn to rest, not to quit.
Yes, sir.
Never make a permanent decision based on temporary feelings. Hardship often prepares an ordinary person for an extraordinary destiny. As you know, life is an echo. We get what we give.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You do not find a happy life. You make it.
Yes, sir.
The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing.
You gonna get a couple more.
Whatever you are,
Fire right now.
be a good one.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna be that. That my man's.
Every day is a new beginning. Treat it that way.
Well, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Stop thinking about what might have been and start looking at what can be. Positive thinking will let you do everything better than negative thinking will.
Yes, sir.
Your comfort zone will destroy your dreams.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Normality is a paved road. It's comfortable to walk, but no flowers grow there.
Yes.
It's comfortable
Yes.
to walk, but no flowers grow
Yes,
there.
sir. That's my guy, Belly. Oh, big guy. One more. Give me one more.
Self-care mindset. I never lose. Either I win or I learn.
Yes, sir. Y'all need to hear that one more time before we get on up off of this video. Lego.
Self-care mindset. I never lose. Either I win or I learn.
Yes, sir. Double time on day heads. That was magnificent. We on fire right now. Let me get a 2-minute talk. 2-minute talk. 3-minute talk. Motivation for today. There you go. Let's get there. I'll give you 7 minutes.
Building your online business? Go to Wix.com and set up your store on a single integrated platform.
There are many things that can make a huge difference in your life. Some of these things can change everything for you on their own. If you are committed to work on them all, you will become one powerful human being. If you are committed to change, to improve, you will change. You will improve. Here's 7 things that you can control that will make a massive difference in your life if you decide and commit to them. Number 1, your thoughts and beliefs. Number 2, being kind to others. Number 3, your effort. Number 4, your pursuit of knowledge. Number 5, your gratitude for what you do have. Number 6, how you treat others. Number 7, who you surround yourself with. Now let me explain how these things can make a difference in your life. Number 1, your thoughts and beliefs. How you see the world is how you live in the world. If you believe people are mostly good, you will see mostly good people. If you think about all the negative things around and the bad people in the world, that is what you will attract. The meaning you give to everything in your life becomes your life. If you believe in miracles, you might attract one. If you don't, you have no hope. If you believe your best is yet to come, your best is on its way. It does not take a lot of common sense to understand that positive people live better and happier lives than negative people. People who believe in abundance and expect abundance enjoy more of it than those who speak of lack. So sharpen your mind, practice positive affirmations, work on yourself every day. You are in control of your mind and beliefs, and shifting this can change everything. Choose to see the magic in the mess. Choose to see the power you developed from your pain. Choose to see the strength you gained from your struggles. They did make you stronger. Number 2, being kind to others. Kindness and compassion shouldn't require effort. It's just part of your real nature. And when you give, the universe always returns with interest. When you are kind to others, more people are kind to you. If you choose to see negativity, negativity will show up in your life. Kindness, compassion, and giving to others not only lifts them, it lifts you too. There aren't many better feelings than knowing that you made a difference in the life of another human. You don't know who is hurting. One simple, kind interaction could change someone's life. It could save someone's life. You never know what your words mean to another or when they might need it. So be kind and always remind those close to you that they matter. Choose kindness over your need to be right. Kind people are always the most loved. You want more love? Give more love. You want better friends? Be a better friend. You want more kindness? Be a kind person. Regardless of what others do or don't do, be kind and watch those around you change with you. Number 3, your effort. You can't mistake this one. Your effort equals your results. The law of attraction is only going to work if you do. This does not mean it needs to be a struggle. Effort can be effortless. It can and should be doing something you love. It needs not be a struggle, but you must put in the work if you want the results. You are always in control of the amount of effort you put in, the amount and quality of the work you put in to your business and yourself, so you are always in control of your results. Number 4, the pursuit of knowledge. You are always in control of your own self-development and growth. This world is changing so fast, and if you are not willing to grow, you will fall behind. As humans, we must be growing to live our fullest life. Choose topics that light you up. Expand your mind and soul with books, audio, seminars, anything that makes you feel better and become better. Commit to self-growth, anything that makes you feel better. Commit to be a curious seeker of what makes you light up, what makes you stronger, wiser, more powerful. And when you grow, help someone else up to your level. Number 5, being grateful for what you do have. We speak about gratitude a lot. The best teachers on earth speak about gratitude a lot. Why? There's no better way to improve your day or your life than perspective and gratitude for what you do have. What can you appreciate today? What is great in your life right now? Number 6, your presence. Most people live almost exclusively in their heads, stuck in an endless cycle of worry and anxiety about the future, stuck in an endless cycle of regret about the past, meaningless mind transactions of no value. Be one of the few who live in this moment. Be one of the few who notice their family and friends, who notice the miracle of existence on this earth. Live more in the present. Enjoy the little things. Leave your devices behind more often. Get out of your head and into the magic of life right now. Number 7, who you surround yourself with. You always choose who you surround yourself with and how much time you give all the people in your life. You choose if people drain your energy or give you energy based on the quality and compatibility of people you surround yourself with. Surround yourself with people that make you feel good about you. People that get you, that allow you to be you.
That's right. Let's go, y'all. All right. We are started up for today. So let's see. What is emotional intelligence? Let's get a running definition on that. Let's get some filters on first, though. All right. Psych to go. You got it.
When there's a strong connection between a therapist and a client, it's transformative. You can see when they come to the session, just the difference, the excitement in their eyes because it's working for them.
By the time a client meets with me, BetterHelp has already done the pre-work to make sure we're a match.
Being part of BetterHelp, I work with clients to rewrite their own story.
Why did we watch that whole commercial? I'm sorry.
Hey Psych2Goers, and welcome back to our channel. Have you ever deeply regretted something you said or did? Sometimes we act on impulse or let our emotions get the best of us. We have so many emotions, it's easy for them to take control. The 5 basic emotions are joy, sadness, fear, disgust, and anger. And they can all splinter off into many more feelings like jealousy, nervousness and disappointment, gratefulness, contentedness, and satisfaction. It can be easy to categorize our emotional outbursts as simple reactions triggered by environmental stressors, but it is in fact possible to control them. If you begin to recognize yourself as the master of your emotions, there will be fewer moments of regret or upset in your life. Mastering your emotions is hard, but anyone can do it. In this video, we'll be giving you a few tips to help you master your emotions. Number 1, recognize and deconstruct your emotions. If you do not know how to articulate how or what you're feeling, it's difficult to master that emotion. But before you can articulate what you're feeling, you have to actually learn what it is that you're feeling. Developing a clear sense of what you're feeling can prevent binge behavior that stems from emotional stress. One way to develop emotional awareness is to keep track of your emotions. Ask yourself, what are you feeling, and when did you start feeling that way? And what was it that caused you to feel that particular feeling? This practice of recognition prevents you from generalizing your emotions. For example, feeling bad can be broken down into many different ways, such as feeling anxious, frustrated, or afraid. Studies show that affect labeling helps reduce related stress and anxiety. Once you've developed a vocabulary for your emotions, you will then be able to deconstruct them down to physical manifestations. Physical sensations are the brain's natural way of coping with overwhelming feelings. Learning to recognize these manifestations can help you untangle yourself from your emotions. For example, if you're anxious, you may feel your heart race, your chest constrict, or have sweaty palms. When you're angry, you may feel hot, like the blood rushes to your face and neck and bubbles under your skin. You might clench your teeth or fists in anger. Or when you're sad, you may feel physically heavy and exhausted and struggle to motivate yourself to get out of bed. Number 2, develop emotional intelligence. Fostering emotional intelligence is perhaps the first step towards mastering your emotions. Emotional intelligence is a buzzworthy word, but what is it? Generally, emotional intelligence involves the ability to identify and name emotions, coupled with the ability to harness these emotions and apply them to certain tasks, and to manage your emotions. Cultivating emotional intelligence will help you better define what you're feeling in any given situation and thus tailor your reactions to fit the moment. You might often generalize your emotions. For example, spilling coffee on your favorite sweater automatically ruins the rest of your day. But if you learn to recognize what you're feeling at that moment, then you'll know what next steps to take so that it does not affect your entire day. Some skills that can help you cultivate emotional intelligence in your life are to practice self-awareness, learn how to channel your emotions, and figure out how to motivate yourself, and also cultivate empathy for others as well as yourself. Number 3, learn new concepts. New experiences can open your mind and introduce you to new perspectives, which in turn allows you to create new behavioral patterns. Many of us prefer to rely on established behavioral patterns instead of adopting a new behavior model. But having an open mind about life and viewing situations from different perspectives helps you to recognize and accept personal responsibility for your own success or failures. You can learn new concepts by experiencing new cultures, learning a new language, or reading a book. Learning new concepts stimulates your neurons and helps create new connections. Scientists suggest practicing an activity that is challenging and complex to help with this. Number 4, practice self-care. Self-care can influence how well you master your emotions. Scientists at the New Mexico Highlands University have found that walking can increase cerebral blood flow, which creates mental clarity. Exercise also decreases the chances of ruminating thoughts and decreases neural activity in the subgenual prefrontal cortex, thus improving overall mental wellness. Some other ways that you can practice self-care are by practicing good hygiene, making sure you drink enough water, and getting enough sleep. Meditation and social connection also help you balance and let out your emotions. Number 5, savor happiness. Someone once said that happiness is like the weather. It comes and it goes. Hence, try and appreciate it when you do have it. During the moments when it feels like it's you against the world, happiness seems like a rarity and can be easy to overlook. But try to find moments of happiness when there seems like there are none. Congratulate yourself on something you've accomplished. Keep a positivity journal when you express gratitude for something that made you happy. It doesn't have to be a life-changing event. It can be something as simple as playing with a dog or treating yourself to some ice cream. Our brains are hardwired to remember negative experiences. So disrupt the pattern with remembering and holding on to happy moments, and this will help you to evolve past those negative emotions. Did you find this video insightful? Mastering your emotions takes time, patience, and willingness on your part. So it's important to be kind to yourself through this process, for it isn't easy and road bumps are bound to occur. If you have any tips about your journey towards emotional acceptance and clarity, let us know in the comments below.
Let's get one more.
So let's say you have to read an incredibly long email from your boss that you have to finish before the big meeting starts in...
Oh, this is the kids version. Let's go.
Emotional intelligence, also known as EI or EQ, is the brain's ability to see feelings coming and then to use them, listen to what they've got to say, and manage them effectively. People with lots of EI recognize their own emotions and can identify them in others. This allows them to discern between different feelings, adjust their inner states, and communicate better. Perhaps the most relevant model of emotional intelligence was developed by the psychologists John Mayer and Peter Salovey, who defined it in 1990 as the sum of 4 skills: perceiving, using, understanding, and managing emotions. Perceiving emotions is our ability to detect them in faces, pictures, and voices, including in ourselves. It's the foundation of emotional intelligence and makes all other processing of sentimental information possible. Using emotions is the ability to align our hearts with our heads. People who are emotionally intelligent can perceive their changing moods and as a result may change what they do to channel their feelings effectively. Understanding emotions is our ability to comprehend the complex relationships between feelings. It involves recognizing and describing how moods evolve and change over time. Managing emotions is the ability to regulate feelings in ourselves and in others. People who are good at that can control their sentiments, manage their moods, and are able to influence the emotions of others. While some people seem to be naturally gifted with all 4 abilities, others have to work hard on every single one of them. The good news is, most of us can improve our EI through mindfulness, exercises, therapy, and education, and it seems it's worth the effort. Higher emotional intelligence often correlates with higher academic and professional success. This is because our emotions and the way we manage them impact directly on our brain's ability to listen and learn. As Peter Salovey concluded, people in good moods are better at inductive reasoning and creative problem solving. So what do you think? Is emotional intelligence something we can and should try to teach in schools? And if so, how? Tell us your thoughts and experiences of improving your own EI in the comments below.
Let's see something. Let's see if we can see this in real time.
You know, I've gone around the world talking to different audiences, and one of the things I love to ask is,
if you love your town, except when the conference comes to town,
you know, in the future, I think emotional intelligence will be one of several abilities that we need. Another, of course, is cognitive ability, IQ, and maybe AI will take over more and more of that. However, emotional intelligence is a human ability and will always remain so. IQ predicts how well you'll do in your school years and how much salary you can make over the course of a career, because it says what job you can get into, like being a business executive or a doctor or a lawyer. But once you're in those professions, everybody else is about as smart as you are. That's where emotional intelligence kicks in. People who emerge as outstanding performers or the best leaders have high emotional intelligence, and their IQ is not that relevant at that point. I'm Daniel Goleman. I've written many books, mostly on emotional intelligence. That's really my favorite topic. The book, Emotional Intelligence, many years ago was an international bestseller. I've written now 5 books on the topic. My most recent is Optimal, How to Sustain Personal and Organizational Excellence Every Day. Emotional intelligence is a set of personal skills that we learn in life. It's a combination of self-awareness, managing your emotions well, empathy, tuning into other people, and putting that all together to have harmonious or effective relationships. Emotional intelligence has been talked about for centuries. Philosophers were talking about know thyself, that's self-awareness. But when I wrote the Emotional Intelligence book in '95, it was the first time that for a popular audience, emotional intelligence had become well known. I was a science journalist at the New York Times back then, and I'd been covering a decade of research on the brain and emotion. And in doing so, I came across a very obscure article called Emotional Intelligence, and I loved the title. It was by Peter Salovey, who's just stepping down as the president of Yale University, and his then graduate student, John Mayer. And I thought, wow, what a great phrase. It seems like an oxymoron. You don't put emotions together with intelligence, but actually it's being intelligent about emotions.
Most people will say
When I wrote Emotional Intelligence, I was actually thinking of bringing it to schools. It seemed to me that kids should learn from the get-go how to manage themselves, how to tune into themselves, how to tune into other people, how to get along, how to behave well, and so on. I was a big advocate of what's now called social emotional learning. And from early on, my view of emotional intelligence hasn't really changed much, but I integrated it with findings from research on outstanding performers. And I saw that different abilities of high performers, like being able to manage your emotions, fit well in the model. And now I talk about 4 domains of emotional intelligence, and then 12 particular competencies of people who are high in emotional intelligence. Self-awareness means you know what you're feeling, you know how it shapes your perceptions and your thoughts and your impulse to act. We find in our research that people low in self-awareness are unable to develop strengths very well in other parts of emotional intelligence. People who are high in self-awareness, however, are able to develop excellence across the board. Self-management means when you're upset, when you're angry, when you're anxious, can you manage your emotions? Can you keep them from disrupting your focus on what you have to do right now? We're having more instances of road rage, of shootings, of people blowing up at other people. There's a growing need for people in general to get better at this ability. The third part is social awareness, which in one sense means practicing empathy. You not only know how the person thinks and how they feel, you care about them. This is what you want in your parents. This is what you want in your spouse. This is what you want in your lover. This is what you want in your friends. And this is what you want in your teachers, doctors, leaders of any kind, people who have influence. The fourth part of emotional intelligence is relationship management. Can you handle conflicts well? Can you keep yourself calm and listen to the other person? Are you being an effective communicator? Full rapport means that you feel close, you feel you can work with this person, you can trust them.
Legends on 3, 2, 1. That's on Kodak.
Unlike IQ, which barely budges over the course of our life, emotional intelligence can change. It's learned and learnable. And it's learned and learnable at any point in life. Emotional intelligence is not one thing. It's like going to a doctor for a physical. You get your lipids and your good cholesterol, bad cholesterol. You get 15 data points. Emotional intelligence is a set of abilities, and each of us has strengths and limitations across that spectrum. So if you want to improve your emotional intelligence, see where you need to improve first. One of the common colds of emotional intelligence is poor listening. You know, we think about what we want to say and we don't really listen to the other person, and we cut them off, we interrupt. Let's say you wanted to change that. This is a basic of empathy, listening well. So if you want to learn to be better at empathy, you might say, my habit, and I've done it thousands of times, is cutting people off and interrupting. I'm going to make the effort to do it differently. I'm going to listen to the person out, say what I think they mean, and then say what I think. That is a different behavioral sequence. And it comes down to the basics of what we call neuroplasticity, how the brain changes with repeated experience. And that's what underlies habit change. It's a little like crossing your arms in a new way. Cross your arms in the old way, please. Now cross them with the other arm on top. That feels uncomfortable. That's what it's like to change a habit. So with listening, you have to first make an intentional effort, might feel uncomfortable, but as you persist, it gets more and more comfortable until finally it's an automatic habit. That will stay with you for years. You know, I've gone around the world talking to different audiences, and one of the things I love to ask is, tell me about a leader you've loved and a leader you hate. And tell me one quality that makes a leader so good or so bad. Basically, the leader you hate is low in emotional intelligence. They don't manage their emotions very well. They blow up at people, don't empathize, they don't tune in, they don't understand how clueless they are. The leader you love is high in it. Having a boss with high emotional intelligence means you feel not only inspired, not only motivated, you feel supported, you feel guided, you feel you have clarity about what's expected from you. You give your best in your best state, in the optimal state, not in a desperate, stressed out state. Research at the Yale School of Management has found that emotions are contagious, and they're most contagious from the leader outward. The leader is most often the sender of strong emotions, either negative or positive. And this very research by Sigal Barsade has shown that if the leader is in a negative mood, very anxious, for example, people on that team will catch that mood and performance goes down. If the leader's in a very positive mood, I feel really good, I feel enthusiastic, then people catch that positive mood and their performance as a team or as a group goes up. So the leader's state is actually much more important on the ability of people to do good work than many people realize, particularly many leaders actually. But if you have a leader that you hate, for example, and sadly too many people do, then you really don't give your best. In fact, you're more likely to leave as soon as you can, particularly if you're talented. So a leader with low emotional intelligence is actually draining the organization in the long term. They may get results for the quarter by driving people, by stressing them out, but they're burning them out and they're going to lose good people. So in the short term, they may look good. In the long term, it's a disaster. I once took a bus up Madison Avenue in New York City on a very hot, humid day. People had a kind of bubble around them like, don't touch me, don't talk to me. And I had the bubble too. I got on the bus and the bus driver shocked me. He looked at me and very warmly said, welcome to the bus. How's your day going?
Yes, sir.
And then I realized, sitting on the bus, that he was carrying on a conversation with everyone on the bus. You're looking for suits, are you? Well, there's a great sale up here on the right at this department store. Did you see the exhibit in the museum on the left? On and on and on. And then people would get off that bus and they've been transformed from kind of grumpy to pretty upbeat. It was kind of magical. And years later, I saw an article in the New York Times about that bus driver.
What?
His name, it turned out, was Govan Brown.
Yes, sir.
He had fans. People would wait for his bus.
Yes, sir.
He got 3,000 letters saying what a great bus driver he was, not one complaint. And he, it turned out, was the pastor of a church. And he saw the people on his bus as part of his flock.
Right.
He was tending to his flock.
Yes, sir.
He had a purpose that was far greater than that of the New York Transit Authority, which is something like getting as many people to where they want to go on time as we can. He had a splendid sense of what he was doing. It gave a greater meaning to what he did, and he did it superbly. I've always felt that the more emotional intelligence in society, the better. I think we would have parents who are more effective in raising kids, who are kinder. We'd have more compassion for each other in our interaction with friends and loved ones as well as with strangers. I think we would care more about the environment, which is why I've been happy to be a kind of evangelist for emotional intelligence, if you will. I'm not the originator of the phrase. I think I made it more famous. I just think it would make a better world.
Get smarter, faster with videos from the world's biggest thinkers.
Now, you know, always on Healthy Mental Thursday, we gotta laugh at some point. I ain't gonna just do y'all like that and play all seriousness. So let's get a smile on our face real quick. I can't use that one. All right, let's see if he actually.
I have a real problem.
Unimaginable ways. From the first computers in the mid-
Really helps you navigate that, right? It really helps you figure out other people's perspectives. You know, our education system should be about creativity, critical thinking, and problem solving, not nationalistic pride as it is right now. You know? Yeah. Yeah. Our education system right now teaches you that Germany's war was wrong. But when America does it, it's just fine. Everybody relax. Put your signs away, people. It's all fine. We're doing it for the greater good. But you're always going to have one kid in the class. It's like, hey, what about, like, no wars, though? Like, what about, maybe like an all peace kind of thing? You know, like, we'll kill each other for a little, like, for 5 years. Can we try it for 5 years? What about, like, no wars, though? Like, what about, maybe like an all peace kind of thing? You know, like, we'll kill each other for a little, like, for 5 years. Can we try it for 5 years? Like a cool thing. They're like, fail that child. Leave that child behind until they learn. It's oil. The correct answer is always oil.
Yes, sir.
Always what we're going for. History will repeat itself. It's completely absurd. I have a lot of problems with our education system, you know? Like high school, you know? High school is basically savagery. That's all it is. That is a place where we send hyper-hormonal, overly emotional teenagers that don't know what to do with their emotions and then hermetically seal them into a building for 8 to 12 hours. Why do we think that's a good idea? Right? I think in high school, you should have a class where you go in and you just let out all of your emotions for like 45 minutes. Right? You just walk in, you're like, I don't understand the practical applications of mathematics. Am I going to need a variable in real life? Why does Tommy keep pushing me into the locker? It's very hurtful. Hurts my chest. He always pushes, never explains. It's bullshit. When will my father love me? In fact, when will Tommy's father love him? I feel like all those things are connected. We need that class, you know?
Right, I feel.
Learn to process our emotions a little bit, like when we need it, you know, when we need that shit in high school. And then later in life, when we figure out that democracy is a lie, we don't just start setting limousines on fire. We all meet at a coffee shop and you're like, all right, this shit's fucked up. Let's figure out a solution, right? Who's got one? Tommy, what's going on, buddy? No, we can't push him into lockers. It's basically the limousine thing.
Hey, that was actually pretty funny. All right, let's get some more.
Now, if you go to Wagamama, you'll sit down and a server will come out, and the first thing they'll say is, have you ever been to Wagamama before? And if you say no,
yeah, I'm good on you, bruh. Hold up. I think we might only have shorts.
you can not cry.
How do you not cry?
Well, instead of letting it out, try holding it in. Every time you have a feeling, just stick it into a little pit inside your stomach and never let it out.
Are you supposed to have a pain under your rib?
Yes, that's natural. You can not cry.
How do you not cry?
They trying to tell our Mexican brothers and sisters that they need to stay away from the border. I don't understand that when California is Mexico. Listen to the name of it, California. San Diego, San Francisco, San Jose. If it starts with San, it's Mexican. Ain't no cities called William Brookshire. You know what I mean? Had audacity to call a Mexican a wetback. They crossed a river. White people, y'all came on a boat. Crossed an ocean. So if they back is motherfucking wet, you dipped. I always talking about my country. White people, this ain't y'all country. Y'all annexed it. You stole it from the Indians. I know you said you discovered it. You know how to use them slick ass words. We discovered it. How you discover some shit a motherfucker already live at? Using that analogy, when I get off stage, I'm gonna discover somebody's car. Police like, did you steal it? No, I discovered it. They trying to tell.
Just because somebody talks to you and smiles in your face doesn't mean the energy is right. Yeah, but exactly already with this word, when I say energy, yeah, it's sometimes strange to people. They say, wow, it's esoteric. So what do you mean by energy? But people can laugh in your face, but you feel is not real. People can just sit there and you can feel their suffering. People can sit there and pretend to smile, but you can feel they're angry. This is what I, in a simple way, say. Beyond what we see, obviously, there is another area that gives you more and more real, actually, information than the obvious what you think you see. What energy is behind there? Just because somebody talks to you and smiles in your face doesn't mean the energy is right. Yeah, but exactly already with this word, when I say
a psychologist in one session said that, well, I know two children that came from the same environment, and if environment is everything, one turned out to be a gangster, the other a minister. If environment is everything, how do you get those differences? The minute you pick up one child and start playing with it, and the other stands there with that lip out, you're making jealousy and envy. There's no such thing as the same environment. So when I pick up my little girl, I pick up my older little boy. You never work with one job. Why can't you keep your area clean? Your brother does all the time. You leave all your things around. Well, when he trips and falls down the stairs, his brother smiles. An inhibited smile, of course. But he does smile. So we build these artificialities in the world we live in today. A psychologist...
The classic nonverbal cue of a narcissist is there's a disconnect between their eyes and their mouth. They smile. Oh, yes, that's so interesting, Lisa. Yeah, but the eyes are dead. When someone's genuinely interested, the whole face lights up. You can't fake that. But what you can, someone's genuinely, yeah, but the eyes are, oh, yes, that's so interesting, Lisa. Yeah, but they smile. Oh, yes, that's so interesting, Lisa. Yeah, but the eyes are dead. When someone's genuinely interested, the whole face lights up. You can't fake that. But what you can fake is a kind of a smile, but the eyes reveal. So there are signs that the narcissist isn't really emotionally involved. But the problem with a lot of women in this situation is they're not attentive. They're thinking about themselves. They're projecting onto the man images from their childhood, their father figures, previous men who've hurt them. They're not in the moment. They're not reading the fine-grained, nonverbal cues that the other person is getting. They're thinking about their problems, their history, their fantasies. You have to be in the moment. You have to look at them and see if that interest that they're showing to be your friend is actually genuine or not.
He said that if you were born and right next to you, like your mother and you both put on a watch at the moment you were born, and then you checked that watch 30 years later, if you have a perfect watch, it was never out of time, your watch would have a different time than her watch because you have gone through time differently than she has.
Fractionally. I don't understand.
Yeah, fractionally. Okay. Because how fast you travel, you experience time in a different way, the path you take in life, the different terrain you travel over the earth, all those factors play in to how much time has passed. He said that if you were born...
A tree grows in two directions at the same time. It grows down, that's the root system. It grows up,
That's the fruit system.
Okay, I never heard that.
So the part of the tree, the nature of the tree that grows down is the gravitropic nature of the fruit. Gravitropic means it grows towards gravity and away from light.
Got it.
The part of the tree that grows up and produces fruit is the phototropic nature of the tree. It grows away from gravity and towards light. The problem most people have is they love the gravitropic nature of, the phototropic nature of success and having a fruit system that everybody can see.
Yeah.
They don't love the gravitropic nature of preparation and having a root system that no one can see. It's the stuff that you do when nobody can see you that makes you worth looking at when somebody can see you. Tree grows in two directions at the same time. It goes down.
Right there. Let me get one more laugh up in here.
Step into Wix Studio, the web platform for agencies and enterprises.
Guys, we don't have emotions in public. That's not what men do. If you feel like, I'm not saying don't cry. I'm saying if you're gonna cry, leave the bar. We're trying to have a good time in there. Leave. Like that's your leave kind. Go.
Right.
That's like, I'm not saying don't cry. I'm saying if you're gonna cry, leave the bar. We're trying to have a good time in there. Leave. Like that's your leave kind. Go. A bar is not a place for emotions. You go to your car, turn on Bob Seger, cry like a man.
Yes, sir.
This dude it was pretty obvious what was going on. Everyone in the bar saw it. This dude had a crush on a chick. She thought they were just friends. She showed up with another dude. He was hammered, and he just went full psycho. Just and he just went full psycho. Just she had no clue. She's like, I don't know what's happening. Dudes don't handle infatuation well, ladies. It's not an emotion we deal in often. Men deal in 3 emotions 98% of their lives. Men deal in happy, angry, or confused. Yeah, and I know there are women in here going horny, but horny is happy and angry at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, we're happy we got a we're angry we got nowhere to put it. Otherwise, dudes deal in 3 emotions: happy, angry, confused. If you give us any other emotion, our first instinct is to run it through those 3 emotions. Sadness, watch your man watch his team lose the big game. He will go through all 3 emotions in about 9 seconds. Big game's over, they lose. It's a good year. It's a great year. You know, I didn't think we'd get this far. What happened? What the happened? We were so good all year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Women deal in all emotions all the time. They don't feel them in their real life. They watch shows with them in them. Women will watch shows that make them cry on purpose. They look forward to that shit. They call their friends and come, hey, you want to come over and cry on Wednesday? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
You know what those shows are? Those shows are emotional CrossFit, is what they are.
Emotional CrossFit.
Those are just women doing emotional reps.
Yes.
They're just in there doing sadness squats and love burpees.
Yes.
When women get crushes, they're light years ahead of us. They've seen all the movies. Guys are blindsided. We're just like, I just think about it all the time. Women are just reading defense. It's like, no, it's fine. It's summer. It's fine. Yeah. Here's a good test, fellas, for the difference between infatuation and crazy. Infatuation is when you think about a girl a lot, you wonder what she's doing, kind of wish you were involved. Crazy is when you go find out.
right. Yeah. Oh man. All right. All right. Well, we can watch this, but
I'm done spending an obscene amount of money on takeout every.
This is good for our mental. This is good for our healthy mental. She was fine.
Push-ups. This saves us so.
Sense of humor, the ability to perceive humor or appreciate a joke. Now, as creatures, it is generally accepted that we have 5 primary senses. We have taste, sight, touch, smell, and hearing. Now, most of us possess these 5 senses, but there is a 6th and more elusive sense, which is the sense of humor. But the sense of humor...
You know, I never thought of that. The sense of humor. You got a 6th sense. It's the 6th sense. It's your sense of humor. Yes, sir. Thank you. If I don't take nothing else from this, thank you.
Is something that not everybody possesses. You know as well as I do. You've met somebody, you know somebody, you might be related to somebody who lacks a sense of humor. But the problem with these people who don't have a sense of humor is that they don't even realize that they're lacking.
Yes, he was. He was definitely true in all of that. Yeah, yeah.
The 6th
I'm glad
sense.
somebody saw it with me.
Now, truth be told, sense of humor and humor a lot of times is in the eye of the beholder. And if we say something that we think is funny or that the person should be laughing at or doubled over and they don't, we're like, yo, get a sense of humor, lighten up, didn't you hear me? It's funny. And the person doesn't laugh and you're like, dude, whatever. And the reality, you may not be funny. Or maybe the person doesn't appreciate your brand of humor. Case in point, Tyler Perry. I don't think anything he does is funny, but he's made $1 billion off of people laughing at his stuff, right? This just goes to show you, do I think it's funny? No. Do some people think it's funny? Yeah. It doesn't mean that I don't have a sense of humor, and it doesn't mean that the people watching it who think it's funny have a higher level of sense of humor than I do. It's just different. This makes sense? I'm not trying to hate on Tyler Perry. I'm just trying to use him as an example, because some people love him. Some people don't think he's funny, right? Me. Some people think I'm funny. A lot of people don't think I'm funny. I happen to think I'm hilarious.
That's my
man. You
man.
get it, right? Well, depending on what side of the funny fence you sit on, today we're going to try and help you increase your level of humor. Because there are a few things that you can do in order to enhance your sense of humor, and today we're going to talk about it. Sense of humor improving tip number 1 is watch more comedies or comedians, all right? So these are things that are supposed to be funny. And the more you actually observe, watch, and laugh, the more you're going to start picking up on the little nuances of life that are basically funny. All right, have you ever watched a comedian and he explains something that you've seen, heard, done, or whatever 1,000 times, but the way he looks at it is different than the way that most people look at it, and it's hilarious. You're like, I never thought about it like that, but it's funny. All right, by picking up and basically immersing yourself in humor, you're going to start to notice things in the outside world that are funny. You're going to have a better understanding of timing, of delivery. All these things are critical to sense of humor. And this brings us to sense of humor improvement tip number 2, which is surround yourself with funny people. We've all got friends or people in our lives that we think are funny, right? Do you like being around them? Yeah, everybody likes being around people that make them laugh, because laughter feels good. When you get done with a good laugh, all right, a good belly ha-ha, I'm not gonna try and imitate a belly laugh, but you get the idea. It feels amazing. Endorphins are released, you're smiling, and there is scientific research to prove that when you smile, it enhances your mood. And one of the psychological things that you can do just to make yourself happier on a daily basis is stand in the mirror and smile for like 10 seconds, 20 seconds, I forget what the number is, but this right off the bat is going to enhance your mood. I'm off topic, but the point of this, and tip number 2, is surround yourself with funny people. You're going to feel better. It's going to enhance your ability to recognize funny situations, and quite frankly, when you're playing off each other, it's going to hone your skills. Speaking of honing your skills, you've got to practice. practice your timing and delivery. Comedy is one of those things, and being funny is one of those things where it all boils down to the delivery and the timing of the joke, because everybody has mistimed the joke and it's like, just doesn't work, or it falls flat. Guys, you gotta practice. The more you practice telling a joke, telling funny things or anecdotes, the better at it you're going to be. Tip number four. See that? I want to show you my middle finger. You know what happened to me? I got bit by a dog. This is a true story. I go over to my buddy's house to help him with a dating profile, and his dog is there. And he's like, oh, get back. And I go, hey, puppy. And just like I'm supposed to, I put my hand down like this down, and the dog, rah! And it bit my hand. Dude, I was so pissed. I'm still pissed about it. Where was I? Other than, be careful when you pet strange dogs that you don't know, is look for the, actually it works in well, because if I would finish that story, I'd tell you all the funny things that actually happened, and looking back, I can think of the funny situations that actually happened as a result of me getting bit by some dude's dog. That's what I'm talking about. Look for humor in everyday situations. Sense of humor improvement tip number 5 is don't overdo it. Everybody has met somebody who's always on. They're always trying to make a joke. They're always trying to make you laugh.
Right.
And it's exhausting. It's funny for the first minute you're with the person, but then after that it just kind of gets a little bit repetitive, it gets obnoxious, and you want to run away from this person as fast as possible. Alright, sense of humor and being funny is something that you do it in spurts. It's like sprinkling fairy dust. If you had fairy dust to sprinkle. Alright, you gotta just pepper it, a little bit here, a little bit there, not all the time, because overdoing it with humor is just not funny. Tip number 6 is don't make fun of people for things that they can't change that's mean-spirited. There is a big difference between poking fun and joking around and being mean. Alright, being mean isn't funny in any situation or any case in any room at all. Alright, it makes you look like a jerk, it makes you look insecure, weak, and like a dick. Guys, don't ever poke fun at other people for things they can't change. But on the flip side, last but certainly not least is tip number 7. Have the ability to laugh at yourself. Alright, if you missed the video I did talking about why it is so damn important to be able to laugh at yourself and some advice on how to be able to do it better, there's a video listed and linked in the description. Sense of humor. Some of us have it, some of us don't. Some of us need to get a little bit better one. But the good news is that regardless of where you fall on the sense of humor scale, we can all improve it. If you follow these 7 tips, you're going to be on your way to having a much more refined and astute and better sense of humor. But it takes practice. It takes repetition. The more you practice, the more you try, the better at it you're going to be. Sense of humor is definitely something that can be developed. Gentlemen, thanks for watching. Now is the point of the
I think that was funny because I never looked at it, like he said, I never looked at it like that. Having a sense of humor. And having a sense of compassion. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ignoring that. We just saying taste, touch, hearing, and sight. And they're linked into some higher senses. A sense of humor, a sense of compassion, a sense of entitlement. All the senses, baby. We got them all. Alright. Alright. Awareness. Mental awareness. We're gonna get a couple more of these. We get 2 more good videos in, and then we get some motivation and get up out of here for the Disney. The Disney. Psych2Go always got the. Oh, there go my man.
Has Kyrie texted you back?
I don't want to talk about it.
How was the math test?
Don't want to talk about it.
You need to talk to somebody. I talked to my Talkspace therapist.
Can't afford it, and still, don't want to talk about it.
Talkspace is super affordable, with or without insurance. And when you don't want to talk, you can just text them. Oh, look, my therapist just texted me.
Talkspace Therapy is in-network with most insurance plans. Go to Talkspace.com to get started.
Good morning, Hank. It's Tuesday. This video eventually discusses mental illness, but first I would like to talk to you about the disability adjusted life year, which is very important despite having a boring name, kind of like Bradley Cooper, but perhaps even more important. So if we're going to figure out how to improve human health, we obviously need to know what is causing human death. Here's the global picture. IHD, aka heart.
I'm telling you, he be having the stats for us. Mental Health Thursday, we gonna stop through him. Healthy Mental Thursday, we gonna stop through his channel every time, the Vlog Brothers. Because my man's always got the stats.
Perhaps even more important. So if we're going to figure out how to improve human health, we obviously need to know what is causing human death. Here's the global picture. IHD, aka heart disease, is by far the most common cause of death. Stroke is also very common. I was surprised to learn that diarrhea causes about as many deaths as lung cancer, but in general, this graphic looked pretty much how I expected it to. But that doesn't show us the whole picture because, of course, there is a big difference between dying at the age of 110 and dying at the age of 30, and also dying is not the only health problem. Although it is a big one. Many diseases can be disabling even if they aren't fatal and can keep people from leading healthy and productive lives. So how do we account for all of that? Enter the disability adjusted life year, or DAILY, which measures the expected years of health lost to a disease. While global causes of death look like this, global disease burden measured in terms of dailies looks like this. Illnesses like malaria and diarrhea and pneumonia become much more prominent because they disproportionately affect younger people. One of the biggest shifts you see when you measure health in dailies is in mental health. In fact, mental illness and substance use disorders become the single biggest category of disease burden in the United States. At least by that measure, what is still sometimes dismissed as all in your head or not an actual health problem is, in fact, our biggest health problem. And that isn't a uniquely American phenomenon either. In Brazil, for instance, mental illness is also responsible for more lost dailies than any other single cause, including heart disease. The same is true in France and the UK. In China, depression and anxiety rob people of more years than liver cancer or diabetes. And even in extremely poor countries, mental illness is a significant cause of death and disability. Like in Sierra Leone, for instance, communicable diseases like malaria and meningitis and pneumonia are overwhelmingly the leading cause of lost life years, but mental illness still causes more disease burden than almost any other non-communicable disease. And while it is certainly a challenge to get good mental health care in most places, in poor countries it is extremely difficult. Many mentally ill people are chained to their beds in hospitals or group homes. In fact, in Sierra Leone, the practice of shackling just ended thanks to a huge effort from the Ministry of Health and slightly improved mental health funding. That news should absolutely be celebrated, but Sierra Leone still faces huge mental health challenges. There are only 2 psychiatrists in a nation of 7 million people, and in other countries around the world, many people are still in chains with absolutely no access to treatment. When we measure health in dailies, it becomes clear that improving treatments for mental illness and access to those treatments should be a priority for every country's healthcare system. To quote a recent piece from The Economist, nobody spends enough on mental health. This is important to me personally because I wouldn't be able to function without the medication I take every day. It allows me to live with my thoughts rather than being controlled by them. But I also think it's important for all of us to understand that mental illness is common everywhere in the world, and it is serious. In fact, it's one of the world's leading health problems. The good news is that the vast majority of mental illness is treatable. As I have said and written many times before, there really is hope, even when your brain tells you there isn't. Like a lot of people with chronic health problems, I have lost time to my illness, but I also have a good and fulfilling life. And I don't just think that's like possible for mentally ill people, I think it is common, at least when there is access to good treatment, but we need more of that access, both in rich countries and in poor ones. So one last note, if you think you might need mental health care, please talk to someone you trust about pursuing a treatment plan or consult some of the links in the doobly-doo below. Hank, sometimes we just need to look at life daily. I will see you on Friday.
That's my guy.
Since when has your mom been so carefree?
Enjoy the confidence of filing with H&R Block's 100%.
Get out of here, Mom. All right, let's get another one. We don't want that we struggling with our mental health. We want to get about it. Nah. Can't do 12 minutes. I don't want that. I want to improve. All right. No filters then. Excuse me, y'all. Let's see what they got. Nothing good. Nothing that I want to see. Oh, this look good.
What if the universe depends on you? The widely accepted Newtonian model of reality is now getting questioned, as it is based on separation. That is, you the man, is living in a physical world. A world that obeys certain physical laws, like gravity or thermodynamics. And nature or the universe is separate and independent from you. But with the advent of quantum physics, things have changed. But this change is only in the world of science, it is nothing new in the world of spirituality. It was taught thousands of years ago by Hermes Trismegistus. That is, as above so below, as below, so above. Meaning, the world is a hologram. A light matrix that is likened to a mirror. It reflects back the consciousness that is being projected onto it. Essentially, quantum physics is coming to the same conclusion. That is, this reality that we live in might not be independent at all. As it might be getting shaped by the observers or the consciousness of man. You might be causing reality to appear a certain way. As in quantum physics, the idea of multiverse and infinite timelines is being explored now. Neville Goddard discussed it in his book, Thinking Fourth Dimensionally. That is, he theorized that the fourth dimension from which our three-dimensional world is being translated contains all the possibilities of your life that could possibly happen. Infinite world lines. Now in quantum physics, as Dr. Joe Dispenza suggests, there is an infinite field of possibility. Containing all the outcomes that you could possibly experience in your life. This infinite field of possibility or quantum field can loosely be considered the all that the book The Kybalion talks about from the teaching of Hermes Trismegistus thousands of years ago. To put it simply, if there is a field of infinite possibility and it contains all the possible outcomes of your life already, what determines which timeline you are experiencing now? Time is a 3D thing only. It is just a concept that is helpful in linear life that we live in this three-dimensional reality. Thus, time doesn't exist. So, in the higher dimension, all that you could be already is a fact. But you are here, living this limited life in this particular timeline. What is determining this particular timeline for you from the infinite possibilities in the fourth dimension? This is where the Newtonian model is slowly crumbling. And we are slowly moving from separation to unity consciousness. That is, the quantum field responds to the consciousness that is interacting with it via thoughts, feelings, and its state of being. This field is materializing that outcome or timeline for you that you have accepted for yourself via your state of being, thoughts and feelings. What you believe yourself to be, the mirror reflects back at you. If you do not smile in the mirror, you will not be shown a happy face. The mirror depends on you for its reflections. If you smile, it reflects a smile. The all, God, source, the quantum field, is mirroring your inner world. As the all, intended creation to experience infinite existences. Unique experiences, all the way to infinity. You see, the all will not meddle with your freedom of choice, as that spoils the fun. As it wants to experience unique adventures in life. Thus, in a way, it depends on you, the consciousness living a unique life, to continue the expansion of the all. Your freedom of choice is available to you at any given moment. You can right now smile into the mirror of infinity. And with some delay, but invariably, it will smile back at you. The delay is only in the three-dimensional world. As this experience is linear, it must follow a series of events to lead up to the change in the mirror. But invariably, it must reflect what the individual is projecting to it. As it is being translated from the fourth dimension where it is already a fact that Neville talks about. Thus, if you persist in your assumption of who you want to be, it must obey. The mirror has no will of its own. If it did, there would be no authentic experience of the all. The all intends to experience what it is like to be you, in this now. And it cannot have this experience if it forces its will upon you. You see, the infinite has made itself limited to have a genuine adventure of being you. It depends upon you, in this now, as its focus point, to choose its experience. Essentially, you and the all are one. But here in this world, there is this veil of amnesia upon us all, to simulate a genuine experience. It is like you have voluntarily allowed yourself to be brainwashed, to play a virtual reality game, to absolutely have the most authentic experience. So, when you get hit in the game, you actually feel it, as if you think it is real. But if you knew it was a game, you wouldn't be that scared for your life. As you know, your real self is unharmed. This is the reason why your life here can seem ruthless at times. And we look around and ask ourselves, how could a God allow this? Well, now you know that this God is not a separate being doing this to you. You and I are doing this to ourselves. By using the law of being in an unpreferable way. You act crazy in front of the mirror and it will show you an insane person. It cannot show you a successful and happy person. A few years ago, all I wanted was freedom. As I was feeling very stuck in my life. And the world proved me right. Then I stumbled upon the works of Neville Goddard. At that point in my life, I couldn't wrap my head around the notion that an all-loving God is putting me through all this pain. Either I am doing something wrong, or what I have been told about God is false. You see, God didn't reveal Neville's teachings to me out of his kindness, as the past me would assume. As I was told that God is a separate being and it has a will, and it decides who to save and who to not save. I presented to the mirror a question. The mirror responded with Neville. Then I proceeded to present to the mirror the consciousness of freedom, it responded back. Mind you, my environment that I felt stuck in didn't change. What changed was my inner world. I just felt amazing. I lived in a condo with a free gym, but I didn't go there for over a year. Why? Because I felt stuck in my mind. There were so many cool things around me for free that I didn't do, because I was a man living in the consciousness of a man who is stuck in life. Thus, I couldn't see all the awesomeness around me. And then what felt like an instant change in me, I began to notice all the freedom around me. All the opportunities around me presented themselves to me like magic. Which were there all along. As the book Acres of Diamond by Russell Conwell talks about. That is, a man was discontent from his life as he heard stories of fortune by other farmers. These farmers discovered diamonds on their land and became rich beyond their wildest imagination. He sold his acres of property to someone and went to search for diamonds. Not knowing that his own property had acres of diamonds lying around. The point is, before looking at the outer world, look within. Who you are being right now. Are you a man stuck in life? Well, the mirror will reflect exactly that, and nothing else. As the mirror, or quantum field, God, or the all, depends upon you. You are the captain of your ship, the master of your fate. I have learned this shift firsthand in my life. As when I was stuck in life, I hated my job and wished for financial freedom. Thus, I began to project into the mirror, I am earning a lavish, steady, dependable income, doing something I love with ease. And the mirror reflected back ease of finances and a good life that I am satisfied with now.
Great. Right, the new GoDaddy. That last one kind of summed up what I was going to say for as far as our message today and having the awareness. So, with that being said, let's get us some more wisdom in these quotes and we're going to get up out of here for the day, all right?
Pride, incapacity, or arrogance, but simply because they lead you nowhere. The things that you consider to be yours own you far more than you own them. Much suffering and much unhappiness arise when you take each thought that comes into your head for the truth. We cannot simply sit and stare at our wounds forever. We must stand up and move on to the next action. The journey to your success will always begin with the small step of taking a chance. You'll ruin your life trying to make everyone happy. The good life is not one immune to sadness, but one in which suffering contributes to our development. Sacrifice today for tomorrow's betterment. You are willing to pay those payments with pain because pain is just a message when you are fixing something that's insufficient in your life. Following a path is easy. Creating a new one can be painful, but it will lead you to new places. It is wise to keep in mind that neither success nor failure is ever final. You may have had unfair things happen to you, but the depth of your pain is an indication of the height of your future. We feel guilty when we no longer want to associate with old friends who have not changed. But this is the price and marker of growth. The world will not become kinder to you just because you are a good person. Good people are the ones who are played with the most. The real man smiles in trouble, gathers strength from distress, and grows brave by reflection. If someone's words do not match their actions, get away from them. Sometimes it's the thought of someone leaving you, which is more painful than the pain you
It's not just about saving time, it's about expanding what's possible.
feel when someone leaves you. In every success story, you will find someone who has made a courageous decision. Your life becomes so peaceful when your anger for the people who hurt you turns into sympathy for them. People are more selfish than you think they are. You have to walk and create the way by your walking. You will not find a ready-made path. The greatest thing you can give yourself is freedom from what others think. You cannot be afraid to disappoint people. You have to live the life you want to live. You will meet people who you just can't get along with no matter how correct you come. You can say and do all the right things, but will bump heads regardless. Change is scary because known challenges and pain are easier to accept than unknown ones. Don't be afraid to do things by yourself. Waiting for other people will cause you to miss out on some wonderful things in life. Forget trying to change people. Either change yourself or change your environment, or both. Never give up on what you really want to do. The person with big dreams is more powerful than the one with all the facts. At some point, you will realize no one else has a say in your life unless you let them. Your life becomes meaningful in precise proportion to the depths of the responsibility you are willing to shoulder. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Out of suffering have emerged the strongest souls. The most massive characters are seared with scars. If you're not resilient by now, life is only going to get tougher for you. Always place your becoming above your current being. Do not cling to any one person, not even your most beloved. Every person is a prison and also a hiding place. The chief trick to making good mistakes is not to hide them, especially not from yourself. Life gets better when health becomes your first priority. The more seriously you take yourself, the unhappier you're going to be. The energy we spend to complain can be redirected to act for change. When we take responsibility, we get out of the victim mode and move on. Enjoy what you can and ignore the rest. Let's not waste any energy fighting things that are outside our control. Whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it. Always work with it, not against it. Make it your friend and ally, not your enemy. This will miraculously transform your whole life. Sometimes letting things go is an act of far greater power than defending or hanging on. Sometimes the place you are used to is not the place you belong. All obstacles that are perceived with love can transform into the greatest life lessons. As you improve, you'll find yourself more disappointed with those around you. To avoid this, be hard on yourself, but understanding of others. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. Don't hold your breath on people doing the right or ethical thing. People make decisions based on self-interests, not on what is right.
Yes, sir.
Nothing prevents happiness like the memory of
Yes, sir.
That client review was brutal.
We're gonna be underwater for
happiness. Often there is a time gap between knowing better and doing better. Start prioritizing your mental health instead of adjusting to toxic spaces.
Yes, sir.
If you haven't the strength to impose your own terms upon life, then you must accept the terms it offers you. The more distant you are, the more you can see the whole picture. You have a broader view with less emotional confusion. And the best thing you can do for society is to take care of yourself first. Even if you've been dumped on and mistreated, you have to not become bitter, not mistreat or dump on others. You can't make people love you the way you love them. The regret of putting first those who don't put you first make your life painful. When you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person who walked in. The most important thing is to look ahead. The past is your anchor. Life is a succession of lessons that must be lived to be understood. Before a new chapter is begun, The old one has to be finished. Tell yourself that what has passed will never come back. Nothing is irreplaceable. A habit is not a need.
Yes, sir. Last one.
No matter how many people you surround yourself with, you will always be alone. It's up to you to pick yourself up and carry on.
All right, y'all. So I hope that your mental has become a little bit more healthy here today on Healthy Mental Thursday. We're going to go ahead and wrap up this message for today. We're going to go ahead and get up out of here. I'm your host, Dan F. Man. This has been another episode of Expansion Pack here on, you see it up there, DGTA TV. I'm going to holler at y'all tomorrow. Fun Fridays. Peace.
Not time enough. Nor are a few sets of tennis or an afternoon poking around in the garden. We need more time than that. Several days, a couple of weeks or longer, and on a regular basis. For me, it's getting on the water in a boat. It's wearing comfortable old clothes and sailing out of sight of land with just the sea and the wind and the sky. And it's puttering and fixing things around the boat, sanding and varnishing and making little improvements. There's the therapy of the fresh air, the sea itself, the elements, and it's using your two hands, the most versatile instruments on earth, and the tools they've fashioned to help. Everyone has his own way, or should have his own way, of recreating himself, of renewing himself, so that he can turn again to the necessary pursuits of living with new interest and enthusiasm. What's yours? With one friend of mine, it's growing tomatoes. For others, it's painting, or cooking, or mountain climbing, or fishing, or camping, or traveling. Everyone needs recreation in its true sense. Robert Ardrey points out in his marvelous book, The Social Contract, that the three most important factors to any human being are, in this order, number one, identity, recognition as a separate, original human being. Number two, stimulation, change, the opposite of boredom. And number three, security, the opposite of anxiety. Well, this recreation business comes under headings 1 and 2 and most certainly helps us establish number 3. That is, occasional renewal helps us find ourselves, reestablish just who we are and what we want. So it helps with our identity problem. It most certainly involves change, stimulation, the opposite of boredom. And it helps us develop inner security, the only kind that's worth anything anyway.
Need a UGC video for your business? Find me and many other skilled creators on Fiverr. Or you could grab a top.
If a person has this inner security, real security as a person, his world can come crashing down all around him and he can still emerge secure within himself and build a new and possibly better one. So when you find yourself getting stale, you need some meaningful recreation. You need to stop the world and get off for a while and look back at it as a man from Mars.
You're that broke, you need to steal $5?
Yes. You that broke, you need it back. Fuck that.
What are you insecure about?
My height.
Why?
Because I want to be 6'3".
How tall are you?
6'2".
How big is your private?
Like 8.5 inches.
Construction at our house, and Kanye refuses to get it.